COVID. Now, COVID, it's funny because some of the enlightened liberals, or whatever you want to call them, they've, in the last few weeks, or maybe 2 months or so, they've sort of come out against some of the mandates and the draconian policies and things. And I think what you'll find here is that Bill Maher and Joe Rogan are going to make some sense on this kind of thing.
I probably have, but it's like, I don't know. I would trust it came from the CDC. If they personally admitted, yes, this is, or the people who make the vaccine. Anybody else, I don't know. But then again, they could be lying. Right. I also don't trust them to tell me the truth about whether they did put it in there. And I don't know what the fucking shit is. So don't tell me things like, just do what we say. Don't question it. When have we ever been wrong? A lot.
All the time.
Been wrong a lot, and you just don't know a lot. So just don't tell me, well, we are perfectly certain that this vaccine is safe, or we are perfectly certain that these x-rays are a low dose and they won't. You don't fucking know that. You don't know what all these different things, there's like 50,000 chemicals we have in our body that we didn't have 100 years ago. You don't know what the interchange of all these elements is doing to me. And me personally, it might be different than you. So just don't have that attitude of just get it in you, because we are the people who know.
Not just that, but they're making insane amounts of profit from that. We're supposed to pretend that they've been honest about the risks of things in the past.
Okay, I think Rogan really hits the key part there, right? These people who are making an awful lot of money and stand to make a future awful lot of money, and who have put in legal language so they'll never be held to account if anything's wrong with any of these vaccines or anything else. Like, perhaps that's what this is really about. But Maher is basically making sense, although the first thing he says there, I would trust the CDC or the people who make the vaccines. And then he kind of realizes what he said there and he goes, but they could be lying. So why should we trust them? I mean, 2 years after this whole thing, do you really trust the CDC? Do you really trust the vaccine makers? I'm not saying they're all liars. I'm not saying that they're all evil. And I have no doubt that there are good employees who work there. But we know that they've even fudged the numbers. Even over the last couple of weeks, they fudged the numbers related to deaths and infections and a whole bunch of other stuff. Remember, there was one thing. What was the line that they used about the numbers that they screwed up related to COVID deaths? It was an accounting error or something. They forgot to carry the one in one of those things, or it was what they called a clerical error. It was a database error, something like that. So Maher sort of says the right thing. Like at first he was like, the CDC, I would trust them. But then he realizes, oh no, why should I just trust them? But the problem is liberals put too much faith in big institutions above them. I think probably because they're trying to find other gods, because usually they don't believe in gods. But something about believing in systems and believing in something is very important to the human experience. So you can run around saying you're an atheist, but then go, oh, but the CDC said something, I have to believe it. But then he also has a logical brain, and a logical brain goes, wait, just because they said it, probably not true, possibly not true. Hey, I'm still back here. Okay, fine. But he sort of got it. But once again, it's like, okay, you're getting it 2 years later. Because when there was a cost to getting it over the last 2 years, when many of us were screaming that there should be no mandates, that you should not be forcing children to wear masks, that it should be up to the individuals and all those things, where were you, Bill Maher? And again, this is not an attack on Bill Maher. This is a genuine handout of like, let's do this. Let's get to the end. Let's start building the new world. You should be part of the new world, obviously. But when there was a cost to having any of the opinions that you now have, you didn't have those opinions. You were not going after Fauci. Was he loudly screaming? I mean, please, someone find me a video where he was ranting and raving against mandates. I'll gladly show that video tomorrow and I'll apologize. But when a whole bunch of us were, where were you? Now it's very easy to say it, right? It's the easiest possible thing to say. But you believe in the CDC. That's what you're saying. You believe in these big institutions.